Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is the Encourager from the Encouraging Vessel. I'm coming to you again with another word of encouragement and reminder. And again, I don't have a particular topic right now. Perhaps at the end I will definitely come up with a topic, but I'm here just to have just a talk, because I know every now and then we need to be reminded of who we are and what is ahead and what our stance should be. I think it was about a week or so ago I did a video. I think about a week or so ago. And I had reminded you, ladies and gentlemen, not to learn the ways of the heathen. I believe I'm still on that vein today because many of you, Israel, are not listening. So this is just a reminder, because the enemy comes and he cloaks everything. I guess first and foremost, I should say that have you not known, have you not heard, have you not read in the Bible that this world that you and I are existing in is given into the hands of the enemy? I'm going to say that again. This world is given into the hands of the enemy. It is run by the enemy. The clothes you wear, the food you eat that are processed that you eat, the houses that you live in, everything is in the hands of the enemy. So it is we have a constant struggle or a tug against the natural and against the spirit and the natural, because we want to do good. We understand that we are walking through a world that is run by the enemy for a period of time, because the Father's hand is going to come down quickly and swiftly. But for now, if you understand the process of gold is tried in fire. So many of our situations, you should look at it and see that you are walking through fire, and you need to keep your head up, because you will come forth pure. But you have to have a determined heart of mind. The Father does not leave you alone in the fire, though we are in, let's say, the camp of the enemy, because the enemy runs the world, ladies and gentlemen. And the enemy presents his presence to you, and it's up to you to reject. The enemy presents the weaves. The enemy presents the makeup. The enemy presents everything. And yes, the Father, in his infinite wisdom, uses the enemy. Now, I think a lot of time when we speak of the enemy, we are thinking or not completely understanding that the Most High, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, he is the creator of all things, be it good, bad, or evil. And he's got a purpose. Everything that is and that exists is because of the Father. And he is sifting right now. He is weeding out. And it is up to you, ladies and gentlemen, to be so careful because you can be in the fire and not be burned. Think of the 3 Hebrew boys back in Babylon. They were in the fire, but they were not burned. So yes, even though the world is given into the hands of the enemy, we do not have to succumb to the ways of the enemy. We can still exist and go about and live victorious lives, honoring the Father. But many are wanting to be like the enemy. Many are caught up even the so-called Christian songs that are written, that are sung. The Father uses the enemy to straighten us out, is using the enemy to straighten us out. And many are not going to make it. Because like I said, when you think of the process, or if you go and do a research of the process of cutting a diamond and purifying those gems, they have to go through strenuous processes. But the Father is in the fire with you, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to give in to the ways of the enemy. If you understand that the Father can use, and he uses the enemy to bless you. I know it sounds weird. Now, if you look back on the history of Daniel, look back on the history of the Hebrew boys in the fire. The Father does use the enemy to bless you. Many times you look around and the things of the enemy, we're plagued with it every day. And this is where your free will comes in. This is where you choose whom you will serve. The enemy gives you that which is beautiful and pleasing to the eye, like immediate satisfaction, immediate gratification. But this gratification is temporary. And it is fake. But many are not examining, and they're readily stretching out their hands to receive and to latch on to what the enemy presents, and are not looking beyond to see the Father. And what he is presenting to you, knowing that what he presents is permanence and is life. But many of you are taking what the enemy is given. In the so-called Christian world, what the so-called Christians do, they copy what the world is doing. And I smile at this every day, whichever radio channel or Christian or godly, I shouldn't say Christian, but godly feed I'm trying to listen to get some encouragement, some uplifting. The things they do, they look on the world and they create a copy of what the world has and stamp their Jesus, and note I'm saying their Jesus, on it, and thereby profess to say that this is a godly content. I hope this is making sense to you, ladies and gentlemen. For example, they look at the Oscar and they create the Dove Award. And they look at the red carpet and they have the same thing. And then they say it's godly content. But you, O house of Israel, you ought not to learn the ways of the heathen. You need to pay attention to these things. Pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. Set yourself apart. Come out. This is a part of the coming out of Babylon. You want to enjoy the good fruits of the Father, but you do not want to follow his commandments. You do not want to follow the instructions of the Most High. But you want to enjoy the benefits of following the instructions. You want to do you want to do what is right in your sight, in your eyes. But at the same time, you want the benefits that goes along with that which is absolutely true, pure, and holy and righteous with the Father. You want the benefits, but you want to steer the other way. It's just like, some of you that have children, the child knows when he or she steps out of bound what the consequences will be. The child knows. And you as the parent upholds that for the child because you are trying to steer the child in the right direction. But when it comes to the Father, you want to go the opposite way, but at the same time, you expect to have the wonderful blessing. You want to turn to homosexuality. You want to turn to that which is evil. You want to do that which is unholy. And when the consequences for those things come upon you, you expect to have the blessings of the Lord. You expect all the good things and you refuse to turn. You refuse to change. You want to enjoy and remain in the filth, but you expect to have the benefits of goodness, but on the other hand, you are not doing that which is good. I know these are hard words for some of you to hold, but I believe the Father wants us to go out also to remind you. At the end of this line, ladies and gentlemen, you will not have anyone to turn to say, I did not know, because the words are going out and you are hearing the words and you cannot unhear the words. A few months back, I believe I know I also did another video and I addressed the wigs, I addressed the weaves, I addressed the makeup. And the weaves and the wigs, they also come with consequences. The bleaching of the skin, they also come with consequences. So when you have riddled your body and destroyed your natural self, and the diseases come upon you, and or let's call them deficiencies come upon you, then you run to the Father, but you are not running to him with a genuine heart. You're looking for a temporary fix so you can get back to what you were doing. Your time is limited, ladies and gentlemen. Your time is limited. And there aren't anyone telling you this. And so this channel is here to encourage you, to warn you, to steer you, to inform you, to give you the word that you may step out and make the choice, whether it is to go the right way or the left way. At the end of the day, the decision is yours. And the destination that you reach will be because of the decisions that you've made. And there is a heaven and there is a hell. There is life and there is death. And many of you think that after this life, as in this present life, that's the end of it. I think I read something this week and I was floored by it. It was like, oh, well, I've lived a good life and I'm not afraid of death. I'm not here to say to be afraid of death, but the fact that this person did not understand or does not understand that closing your eyes in the flesh is not the end of it all, because there is a judgment bar that you and I will have to stand at. And how will you plead your case? How will you plead? You will have no words. So, ladies and gentlemen, I encourage you, O house of Israel, it's time to wake up. It's time to make changes, and not perhaps in the past you've allowed, let's say, you've allowed Egypt to dictate to you how you should dress, how you should carry your hair, how you should carry yourself, and what you should eat, how you should talk, what you should do, what you should say. So perhaps in the past, you've listened and you've copied, you've emulated, because when you look around, your mentors are the heathen. But like I said in the video before this, in Ezekiel 37, you're reminded not to learn the way of the heathens, as in not to practice the way of the heathens. You will see what they do, you will hear what they say, but you've got to understand who you are. And whose you are. If you steer in their way and you lock in with them, you will be destroyed with them. Simply put. And I believe I'll end this here today. And I hope you'll take the time to ponder. Maybe what I'm saying sounds foolish or it's nonsense to you. But I understand the power of words. And I do hope that you can pull some sense out of this nonsense. Learn not the ways of the heathen. Don't practice the ways of the heathen. If you didn't know, now you know. And it's time to set yourself apart. Make changes. Today is the day. Today is the day, because tomorrow is not guaranteed for you. This is the Encourager. Be blessed.